positions have prepared me for this moment collaboratively, collectively, and more importantly, have instilled in me the purpose, even more purpose of service.
If you are elected, what committees would you like to be on that would best help your district?
Absolutely health. Again, I want to address housing, homelessness, but mental health and substance abuse is definitely one of mine. The African American mortality, maternal mortality rate is extremely high in our community. We see that our community has issues regarding just health issues in general, from mental health, diabetes, high blood pressure, childbirth, all of those types of issues and that affect our community, especially in vulnerable communities, needs to be addressed. And I would think I would better serve there to handle that whole wraparound service in the area. Also, jobs. I would like to be on the workforce committee. I want to make sure that we create livable wages, but also retain livable wages. So I definitely want to look at those committees. And then I would also like to look at education, childcare. We have to start early with our investing in our growth of our children. And I would definitely like to be a part of that. I see that our district is one of those districts that need those resources.
Right.
And definitely needs an advocate for them at the table in Sacramento to assure that we receive our fair share of funding. And so to do that, I have to be at the table to assure that we get that.
I know that's right. Now, we're dealing with an affordability crisis in the state of California.
Yes.
So we have that issue, but that's not even the only issue that we're dealing with. We're dealing with also the advent of ChatGPT and automation and AI that in its fell swoop is changing culture, changing society, but more importantly, killing jobs. I mean, right now we haven't quite had the conversation between generations, between electeds and citizens.
Absolutely.
And the question I have here is do you have any sort of policy prescriptions or a vision about how to cope, with this sort of onslaught?
Well, every generation, every decade, something new is going to come. That's something we have to prepare for. If we stay the same, we'll never evolve. But we have to prepare for it. We have to get ready for it. Everything has its place. AI, automation, all that. When it does not have a place, it is replacing it for people. And that's not an option for me. That is not an option for me. Through every industry that is a part of, and as long as it is impacting jobs, I will be at that table challenging and fighting against it.
And how about housing?
Absolutely. That is surely a priority. I'm sure it's a priority across our nation. This is just not a California issue. It's a worldwide issue. But also in California, we're making housing a priority here. We have Proposition 1 that's coming on the ballot that is going to increase in mental health housing, also in homelessness housing. Senator Weiner, governor, just signed a bill and just took effect in January for housing to be built by faith-based organizations as well as schools. So that's going to help give us some room on housing. But also we got to work with our local municipalities on changing our zoning. Making our land use.
Right.
I always talk about assessing our intangible and tangible properties. And for those to make it clear, tangible is something you can touch.
Right.
That's our land. That's assess how much land we have. That's assess how much tangible. And intangible is our finances, our grants, funding resources. We got to assess our leverage of those to build affordable housing. We have a bill coming from we have funding coming from the federal government. Let's leverage that. We also have properties in certain cities, state properties. Let's leverage that. But we have to make it a priority.
Right.
And it's definitely a priority in our district. Also, let's look at giving tax credits to developers. We have to assess our entire intangible and tangible asset portfolio to make these proper and critical decisions. But it has to be done immediately. It can't wait.
I know that's right.
Can I?
You can't.
Okay. When you see me sweat,